Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm very excited to check it out. For Perplex. This is for 2 to 4 players. Age is 10 plus. It'll take you about 10 minutes to play. And in Perplex, this is one of the games in the Pack-O Games line, which are supposed to be about the size of a pack of gum, and they really are. I believe there's 7 or 8 games in this line. This one is called Shh, and it's about being quiet and trying to spell words cooperatively with up to 4 players. Is it a small box of shh, or is it something you might want to check out? I don't know. Let's open it up and I'll tell you. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at Shh from Perplex. This comes in a tiny, tiny little box right there. So first and foremost, we have our handy dandy rule sheet. It is 1 page, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, and for its size, it is pretty well done. It will have you up and running in, I'd say, about 5-6 minutes. You'll probably need it once, maybe twice, and never need it again, because the gameplay itself is very simple, so I can probably teach it to you now. So in the game, you're going to get these micro cards. You're going to get 30 of these micro cards. You're going to have 1 for each letter of the alphabet, and then 4 pass cards. However many players you're playing with, that's how many pass cards you use. So 3-player game, 2-player game, so on and so forth. So what you're trying to do, this is a cooperative game in which you're going to be spelling words. You're all going to be working together, taking turns, laying down letters to spell words. But the catch is you can't say anything at all to your teammates. You just have to try and work together through public knowledge of which letters are out, which letters you have, that sort of stuff in order to do that. This is one of those cooperative games where you're not trying to beat the game necessarily, but try to beat your high score. The highest score you can get is obviously 26 because there's 26 letters in the alphabet. That would be really extremely difficult. But let's go over some gameplay and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. So I am going to talk because that would be a pretty terrible video if I just didn't talk. Well, I'm sure some people would like that. But anywho, you're going to deal it out so it is until everyone has... until all the cards are gone, which means not everyone is going to have the same amount of cards. That can be a big deal sometimes. As you can see, the cards all have the letter on them. They have nice, very vivid, very nice pictures on each and every one of them corresponding to the letter. So we'll just say that this guy's going to go first, and he's just going to lay it down, and he will lay down his R right there. So his turn is now over, which means it's going to go on over here. Now the thing is you have to make a valid word, and a valid word you obviously can't have proper nouns, all that good sort of stuff, and it has to be at least 3 letters, so you can't do it and anything like that. So if we can make a word with this R, I'm going to score this R at the end of the game as 1 point. Now the vowels are a little bit different because let's just say I made, say, rain or something like that. If I made rain, the R in the end would go down here, they'd stay down here, which means they're completely out of the game, which means you no longer can make a letter a word with RN, but the A and I would go back up here, and they would still not score me any points in the game because in order to score any points for the vowel, you have to use the vowel in a 5-letter word, at which point you flip it over, and now it's worth +1. The vowels are also different because, so let's just say that hypothetically I make, oh, that actually worked out really well. So let's say I make rain right here, and everything goes well. This is what we end up making. So the R and the N are going to stay down here. So boom and boom. The A and the I are going to go back up here, and they're still not on their +1 side. So at the end of the game right now, I would have 2 points. Now, if I would have made, say, rains, put an S at the end, then the A and the I would go to +1, and now I would have +4 points at the end of the game, and I would still get to continue to use the vowels, because obviously if you stop using the vowels, the game would be just absolutely impossible. So on your turn, there's a couple different actions that you can do. The first one is that you can lay down a letter. You can add a letter, and you're always going to add it to the end. Always going to add it to the end, and you can use either a letter in your hand, or you can use a letter out on the board. If there's no letters out, then obviously you can start a new word. That's a no-brainer. Then the last option you do is that you can pass. So if you have to pass, then you just flip that over, and your turn has passed. So the game ends, though, when either you've run out of completely consonant cards, which probably won't be the case most of the time, because what's going to happen is, you know, this guy might be consistently using vowels, and where this guy might be using all of his cards and he's only going to have 1 left. And if he can't pass, like let's say all the passes are used, and let's just say we had R, E, A, and he has to play his card. Well, this is a terrible example because he actually has a card that works. So let's say he has this. then immediately you're going to know that, oh, no one's going to be able to make a word out of this. So the game would end, you would tally up how many letters you have scored. So we might have this and this. This might be on +1. We might have all these down here. And you want to keep them in order so that way you know exactly which letters are available, which letters are not available. And you're going to see how many points you do. And then the rule booklet says based on, so 0 to 10 means you did poor, 11 to 20 is proficient, so on and so forth. Now the game also has an interesting system on keeping you on tabs, where when someone finally decides to score a word, and that's so they give the thumbs up because you're still not supposed to be talking, then everyone has to say either thumbs up or thumbs down. If it's a thumbs down, then if someone thinks that you misspelled the word, then you have to go check in the dictionary to see if you did. And if you did misspell it, then the game immediately ends. But you continue to do that until the game is over, at which point you tally up how many letters you have, how many +1s you have, and you see how many points you got. And that, in a nutshell, is how shh is played. Oh, very dokery. Shh. From Perplexed. What are my final thoughts? Let's go to the pros, let's go to the cons. First, on the con side, the game's not going to be for everybody. If you don't like word games, if you don't like games where you have to be quiet, if you don't like cooperative games, if you're looking for something meatier, I mean, all those really do apply. And honestly, I'm going to just brush over those because you could probably tell from the video that this is not the deepest game. I feel like it's kind of like Hanabi in that aspect, where you can instantly kind of see that, oh, okay, that's not going to be for me. So the question is this going to be for you if you do like these sort of games? Because I feel like the novelty is definitely the packed size. And it's interesting to review this as a game in itself, because I don't actually have the pack of games. I'd love to get one so I could review all the games in it and then do it as an entire unit, but I only have this one individual thing, and so I'm trying to tell you, is this worth spending $6 on, or whatever the price is going to be? And so moving back onto the cons, the size is both a pro and a con, obviously. This is great, because you can put this in your pocket, bust this out. It's great for restaurants or something like that. This is portable on the go, incredibly portable on the go, which I really, really do like. That is something that really super duper appeals to me. But at the same time, this is the kind of thing where if this were in my pocket, and like say I had my keys in here and it got stuck in a key ring, it could just fly in my pocket and I wouldn't even notice it. Because that happens to me sometimes. I got big pockets, I got all that stuff in there. So the size is both a pro and a con. Also, the game, it can get frustrating at points because you all kind of want to be on the same, a little bit, you want to be on the same skill level when it comes to this. Because if someone's really bad at word games or really bad at spelling, it will annoy the living crap out of you. But that's more, that might be more of a personal thing to me, because I'm always striving to try and get that higher score, beat that higher score. So let's move on to the pros. Shh, from Perplexed. What are my thoughts on it? Do I like it? Yes, I do. I think it is a fun little game. Do I think it's worth $6? That's the real question here. And I say, yes. Yes. This one in particular, I think, if you like word games, if you like cooperative games, and I think couples would really like this. I think this is a fantastic restaurant type of thing. You go to a nice little sit-down restaurant, you get your water, you order, you're going to sit there for 15, 20 minutes. This is a fantastic thing to bust out. You can play 3-4 minutes, maybe not 3-4 games, maybe 2-3 games of this. Have fun, try and beat your high score. You might even slip in a little piece of paper in there so you can remember what your high score is. And I could see a lot of couples really liking this. It's something I'm going to bust out on game night. Well, I did obviously review it, and it went, and that's to be expected. Because let's be honest, when you bust out a game night, do you want this or do you want a big box? And most of the time, you want a bigger box. But as something on the go for maybe couples or something of the same ilk, I definitely can recommend Shh. Now, obviously, I'm a preschool teacher, so I always look at every game through the eyes of a teacher. And I think this is a fantastic teaching tool. So I can say I'm definitely going to keep this. Obviously, because it doesn't suck. And obviously, because it's incredibly small. But the other reason is because I feel like this is also a fun little on-the-go game using as a teaching tool with beginning spelling. Now, obviously, you might want to modify the rules. And there are some ways that you can kind of house rule this sort of thing. If you're playing with younger kids, you want to bump up the score. Then as soon as you use a vowel, maybe flip it over. Or I think I might have mentioned in the middle, I'm not sure, that you can have more pass cards. So for instance, if you're playing a 3-player game, just add in that extra pass card. Or there's other ways that you can house rule the game. And I like that as well. So overall, my thoughts on Shh from Perplexed are, you pretty much know if it's going to be for you. And if you think you might be interested, I can definitely say you might want to pull the trigger on this. Now, the whole pack of game series, if they're all as good as this, I would be all about that. So hopefully eventually I will get to check out all of them. But if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below and in the comments below. Let me know what is your favorite tiny, teeny, tiny game that can fit in your pocket. That's my caveat. What's your favorite game that you can fit in your pocket? And I got to take a look-see right here. I got to take a look-see. I got to look around. I think I am actually going to go with Werewolf. Yes, Werewolf. But then, in an actual game, I'm going to go with Eminent Domain Microcosm, the new one from Tasty Mitchell game that came out a couple months ago. Really enjoy that. Really fun back-and-forth two-player card game. But I do like Love Letter a lot as well. Too Many Cinderellas. Man, there's just a lot of micro games. I love it. I love it. But let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite game that can fit in your pocket? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. That was the review for Shh. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bowers Game Corner.